at it again with another Fiat Farm vlog. Now, these are coming a little bit more consistent. Got a better angle this time, so we are locked in. So what am I talking about today, man? Today, man, I'm talking about sovereignty. 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 Yes. It is the creed of Pelagos to be sovereign at all times. Live a sovereign lifestyle and follow it like a practice, man. Sovereignty is the religion. Sovereignty is the way. Sovereignty is the practice, and discipline is the art form. So what does it mean to be sovereign? Well, to me, man, sovereignty really just means like just doing what the fuck you want, to be honest. To be honest, like that's just pretty clear cut as it could possibly be. Take ownership of yourself, take ownership of your life, take ownership of your decisions, and take ownership of your belief system. Easier said than done, right? Like most of us don't have the privilege of even being born into an environment where we can be sovereign, let alone pursue it like a practice. So honestly, I think sovereignty is kind of underrated. You know, a lot of people in life, they like to go about life and just kind of do what they're put in position to do, you know? Now, I'm not coming after anybody. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody in any sort of way. I'm just saying that it's a fact that if you are born in a place where you're oppressed, oppressed, or suppressed based on your race, gender, or belief system, then sovereignty is going to be really hard for you to achieve, you know? Like if you wake up and the first thing that happens is someone telling you how you should live your life because your race, gender, or belief structure says it has to be that way, then, you know, you're not really going to live such a sovereign lifestyle. Like here, even in America, I don't really think anybody's truly sovereign. Total sovereignty is extremely difficult to obtain, and honestly, the more you chase it, the farther you end up getting from it. But I think it's always good to just keep that in mind. Earlier today, my friend offered me an energy drink, and I said no. Why? It's not because I didn't want the energy drink. It's not because I didn't need a boost of energy or I thought that it was gonna, you know, help my work day go a bit better. But I said no because it wasn't me, you know. I didn't wake up and want a fucking energy drink, you know. It was something he suggested. It was his idea, and it wasn't my own, you know. So naturally, I told him no. Nothing against him, the energy drink or the company. I just didn't want it. I didn't think of it. I didn't originally want it, and I didn't want to be influenced to want something that I didn't want, you know. So I, instead of taking him up on his kindness and accepting his generous and loving offer, I said, fuck no, get out of here. Like, what? Fuck, I look like drinking an energy drink, you know? Now, it kind of sounds ridiculous, but that's kind of what sovereignty's all about, you know? And the way I think you should reject most things that you didn't, you know, come up with or want in the first place. Like if someone says, hey man, wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow, we're going out to have a great time at a super popular gathering or club or whatever, first thing I'm going to say is fuck no. Why? Because I didn't think of it. It wasn't my idea. Why would I partake in another person's idea and follow another person's plan, or even just take part in that, you know? It wasn't my idea. Now to counter that, if I do want to make the sovereign decision to enjoy that outing and be a part of that and have that great time that he was offering, then I'll do it. Fuck it. I will go out with them and have a blast and turn up and do all the great things that they want to do, you know? But that's only if I come to that decision myself with zero outside influence, which is really difficult, you know? You should never feel pressured to do something. Being pressured, feeling the pressure to do something is the most obvious red flag that whatever you're doing is not sovereign. It should feel seamless. Like, you should act on your own volition and exercise your will according to what you want to do. That's what it means to be sovereign, at least to me. Or that's what it means to practice sovereignty. Again, you know, not everyone's gonna be able to achieve total sovereignty. I'm not even sure if I'll ever be able to get there in my lifetime, you know. But it's at least good to have a practice, you know. Like, I might not be a fucking yoga grandmaster. What do they call those? I might not be a yogi, you know, but I can still do yoga, you know. I might not be a fucking Buddhist monk, but I can meditate, you know. Like, you can enjoy the practices of a certain belief structure without being like neck deep in that belief system yourself. Anyways, kind of getting off topic, but actually not at all. I'm 1000% on topic. Now, the Creed of Pelagos. No man, God, or entity can determine my fate or control my destiny. There is nothing in this world that can decide my fate but myself, or choose what life I'm going to live and how I'm going to live it. Pelagos, that's the creed. That's how I live. Now people who are religious or have deeply religious views are gonna hear me and say like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro? Are you dissing God? Are you saying that God is not the ultimate arbiter of truth and like the total controller of everything in this world and existence?" No, that's not what I'm saying. You know, like, I'm also religious. I grew up in a Christian household, so naturally at the end of the day I'm going to default to Christianity whenever the time comes, accept Jesus Christ as my Savior and whatnot. But it's not because I'm forced to do that, you know. It's not like I have to believe in God. It's not like I have to give my life to God. It's not like I have to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I do it as my own volition. I choose to do that. I choose to accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and I choose to have a relationship with God and try to walk alongside God as much as possible. It's not that I have to. I can do the complete opposite and be okay with that, as that would be my sovereign decision, you know? But I'm not, and I feel no urge to do that, you know? But that's what it means to be sovereign. Like, God may dictate everything in this world, but not my fate, you know? Not my fate, not my destiny. He knows my destiny. They know my destiny. They know how it's going to end. But unfortunately, as long as I have a shred of free will, and I'm able to exercise that free will, it's ultimately going to be up to me. So whether I live, fail, burn, succeed, shine, or cry, you know, it's totally up to me, and I own that, you know? I own my own faults, and I own my own successes. I own my own losses. I own my own victories, too, and that's what it means to be sovereign, you know? To totally accept control and ownership of everything that is you. Crazy to think about, right? It's not really a lot in this world that you can take and just have total control over without having to have somebody else's permission signed off on it. Especially in this world where it's like, you know, governments and economies basically dictate whether you get to wake up and breathe or eat the next morning, you know? A lot of people in this world, their life is basically determined by the status of their country, you know? Like, if your country's not doing so well, and your economy is not doing so well, then, you know, you're kind of in the same boat as everybody else. Sure, not everybody wants to wake up and go to work each morning. It's not like they have a choice. I mean, they do have a choice, but, you know, everybody knows what happens if you don't go to work, you know? If you stop paying those bills and you're renting, or even a homeowner that has to pay property taxes, everybody knows what happens when you stop paying those bills. You lose it all. And that's kind of the incentive to keep up with the workflow, you know? The incentive to follow basically what society wants you to do. If you don't do what society wants you to do, you're going to pay for it dearly. Everything that you love, everything that you like or have grown accustomed to will be rug pulled from under you if you don't conform to what society wants you to do. And that's kind of unfortunate, you know? I feel like that really limits us as a population. Now, not to get all fucking socialist and say like the fucking government needs to, you know, give me my bread and butter and a nice handy at the end of the day. But I do think it's really unfortunate that everybody essentially has to do the same thing, you know? It's like there's tons of people who are different, unique individuals who might not necessarily, you know, fit into that kind of narrative to say. I think a lot of artists have that issue where they just have so much creative energy and so much ambition and so much drive to share what they've created and really push the culture to a whole new level. But unfortunately, man, you don't really get that bag by pushing culture, you know? You don't really put food on your table by inspiring others. You don't really, you know, get anywhere by making art, you know? You get places by selling stuff and extracting value from other people, you know? So you can simultaneously extract value from your fans and, you know, your target audience, then yeah, you'll be a successful artist. But if all you want to do is paint pretty pictures and spread poetry about love and peace, then, you know, you're kind of in a shitty setup, at least where I live. But I don't think it's going to be like that forever, you know. I think pretty soon there's going to be a dramatic flip, and things that normally used to be very, very unprofitable, unpopular, and wildly unacceptable are going to start becoming commonplace. And I think a lot of people are starting to see that pop up in their own communities. You ever just go outside, you see a guy walking around with a tripod, little fucking camera, handheld recorder or whatever, and he's just walking around looking like a crazy person talking into a mic? Content creation is basically becoming like the new pop star, the new major athlete, the new rapper that everybody focuses on, you know? Like, it's not so much the you're the fastest, you're the hottest, you know. It's really the people who are the creatives who are starting to take back some of the control within their own lives. I think people like that are going to start finding an immense amount of success in a world where, you know, the playbook's kind of being rewritten before our very eyes. You know, I'm not going to say that traditional, oh god, this guy's just standing in the middle of the street, isn't he? I just flew past him at like Mach 5, but I think the playbook's being rewritten. You know, a lot of the things that used to guarantee your success are going to actually start guaranteeing your downfall, you know, and the things that never should have worked out to begin with start actually becoming the key to most people's success. I'm not sure what we'll end up calling that, but I think we'll end up calling that something like a power flip. Pulling up to this gas station right now, this 7-Eleven over here by St. John's. You guys know the 7-Eleven by St. John's, you know exactly where I'm at right now. I used to live over here. I liked it. Interesting place. You meet some unique individuals. There's not as many people posted up here as usual. It's probably because it's fucking 100 degrees in the beginning of October. Alright, so it's time to commence the Fiat Farm. Let's do this. Fiat Farm, vlog number 2. If I had the money, definitely would get some shit like this right here. I fuck with that business. Hey boss, I'm picking up for clearance. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Appreciate it. Let's get it. show you, bro. I have heard the word paradigm shift be used more and more often. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. I don't know if back in the day you ever had a friend or family member tell you that you couldn't do something because it was a dumb idea, and most people that try out things like that have like a 90% failure ratio. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you've ever wanted to start a business or do something creative or like literally anything besides like, you know, I don't know, work a job or some shit or like go to school, it's actually the time to do it, because, you know, they say most people that want to start a business fail 90% of the time, and most artists that want to fail, well, most people that want to be artists fail 90% of the time, and most people that want to become actors fail 90% of the time. Well, fuck, most people that want to do anything most of the time fail 90% of the time. But if I actually looked around, it's much harder to get a job right now than literally any of those things. Like, you honestly have a better chance of blowing up as a rapper, artist, fucking actor than actually getting a job. Like, actually filling out an application at literally anywhere and getting hired. So that's what I kind of mean when it's a paradigm shift. And it's like, even if you do get hired, you know, it's like what? You're gonna make like, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000 a year at an entry-level position and just be okay living off of that? Like, no, you're not. Like most, even if you do secure an entry-level position, with the job market in its current straits, it is an employer's market, not an employee's market, which means you get hired, you're overqualified and underpaid. So it's like, fuck. You're better off just doing what you want to do, you know? Like, look at me. I don't even have a job. Like, I don't have a full-time position, and I don't even want one, because I know if I get one, I would just get fucked. Like, with where I live right now, there is no job that can reasonably pay me enough to support me, you know? So I'm better off just having like 3 side gigs and starting my own business, because the risk is a lot higher of having stable income versus unpredictable kind of entrepreneurial based income. So if you're thinking about just saying fuck it and starting a business and doing something wild and risky, you have a much higher success rate of having that work out for you than getting one of these fucking employers on Indeed or LinkedIn to actually even look at your resume, because you're basically competing with me and everybody else in your city for like the one position that exists. And it's probably like some tech startup that only needs like literally 2 people because everything else is done by AI. Now, nothing wrong with that. You know, if you can get a job that pays you enough to support you and gives you a comfortable work-life balance, then my hat's off to you. Congratulations, you've won. But that's not the reality for most people, especially young college graduates who are looking to, you know, use the education and certificates they've gotten over the course of their, you know, educational journey to actually, you know, find a job and make money with that shit. Yeah, you're about like a 90, like a 9 out of 10 of them are unemployed right now. And as you guys know, the interest for those student loans just got turned back on. So fuck, man. You know, if you're not working right now and you just came out of college and you have student loans, yeah, you got to figure something out, my man. Like, if this is for you, if you just came out of college and you have student debt, you need to start making some income now. If you want to get on the plane with me, we can go Fiat Farm together, man. We can get this shit together. But you need to start making income right now, or otherwise that interest is going to be your ass. You're not going to be paying for that education. You're going to be paying for that fucking interest going forward. So you might as well start finding a way to start making some fucking payments, because that's your new reality until you can find that dream job that you were hoping to get coming out of college. Now, I just got to this little hotel. I'm going to go drop off a 7-Eleven order. You know, that's why I really went ahead and started my own business. Just got done dropping off that little order. $5, really not shit, but hey, you know, it's really not shit. It is really not shit. But when you have a strategy and a system in place, even $5 can become immensely valuable, especially if you know how to leverage it. Like I was saying, that's kind of why I started my business, you know? Like, I was thinking about it. Why the fuck would I spend 6 to 9 months to find a job that's basically not even going to give me a full-time schedule because they can afford to hire 4 people and undercut all of us in terms of our wages and basically just give us all like 6 hours a week and just kind of figure out who's the best performer and not even let any of us touch 20 hours a week because there's such a high demand for the same position. It's like, fuck, you know, even if you do get hired, what are the chances that they bring you on full-time? What are the chances that anybody wants to hire somebody full-time? Especially in today's economy. If I were to run a business, I'm not fucking hiring you. What business is gonna give somebody $60,000 a year? Do you know how profitable you have to be to even afford one employee? Everybody wants an upward of like fucking 20 an hour. It's like, your business had better be fucking selling rocket ships if you can afford more than like 3 or 4 employees. Like, geez, you're gonna be spending probably 5 times the amount of what your company actually brings in terms of revenue just on labor. And keep in mind, most of these guys are fucking stoners. Most of these guys are fucking stoners and really have no like redeemable skill sets, and they still want fucking $60,000 to $70,000 a year to basically be a fucking, you know, welcome mat to a certain extent. But you know, I went ahead and started my own business because there's a much more consistent upside, you know. Because say you land a position, right? You get a job and let's just say everything goes well. It's $70,000 a year, right? You get $70,000 a year after taxes, peaches and cream, right? Inflation. You're gonna get fucking eaten up by inflation by the time it's your 3rd year. Whatever shit that job was helping you to afford, you're gonna need to put on side hustles by year 1.5, you know, just to deal with inflation. Even if you do get a job, your cost of living is still gonna dramatically go up. So not only do you have to find a job, you have to find a job that's willing to pay you enough to survive in the first place, but also guarantee you the opportunity to advance your income so you can keep up with inflation. Now that's just asking for too much. You want a job and you want a guaranteed raise and you want a work-life balance? What the hell are you bringing to the table? Like, me as your employer, you better be beating me off. Like, you gotta be doing something for me to want me to go into debt just to keep you up with inflation. So that's why I say, you know, become a creative, start your own business, because the upside is there, you know? Like, if you're a business owner and you want to keep up with inflation, then all you have to do is just make your fucking business like 8%, 15% more profitable than the previous year. And if you're looking at most of these companies' income statements and their balance sheets, most companies, you know, even if they do have to take on a bit of debt, fuck, you know, they're gonna outperform at some point, you know. And it's like, even if they don't, you can always just sell it off to a venture capitalist and basically be good for the rest of your life. Now that's upside right there. Imagine if I just came up with a business and they're like, hey, this is a great idea, I'm gonna buy it off you for $400,000. You're like, I haven't even started the business yet. They're like, yeah, that's fine, totally fine, guy. We just want the business. Like, so you're just gonna buy a business from me that's not even profitable, hasn't even just demonstrated profitability, or hasn't even shown more than 2 years of consistent cash flow or revenue? You're just gonna pay me 400 grand for it? It's like, yeah, venture capitalism. We just print money and buy businesses and and hope it works out. Well, fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna make a bunch of businesses and then sell them off. Like, what? Like, that's honestly your best bet, you know? Because at this point, with the money being so consolidated in the hands of a few, you might as well just sell what they want, you know? If you've got a fucking house and BlackRock wants to buy your house at market value from like fucking 2012, like 2020 prices, you might as well just fucking sell your house, you know? I mean, granted, you're gonna go fucking homeless, but if they're gonna give you market value for it at a cash offer, you're gonna make like fucking $360,000 after paying taxes. Like you can be good with $360,000. Like, you want to make a fucking dog walking business that's just based on an app, and there's just somehow like AI powering it. Like, sell it to a venture capitalist company for fucking $400,000 and be good for the rest of your life, and then rinse and repeat. Simple as that. So that's why I really say that there's more upside to you starting a business, because even if it fucks up and it doesn't work out, like shit, you can just sell it off to a venture capitalist company, because they don't even know how to run businesses. They just buy them and then they fail, and then they're good because they can just print money infinitely. So even if your business doesn't work out, you get paid, and they don't even take a loss because it was fake money to begin with. But we actually just arrived at this super popular pizza place. You guys know Home Slice Pizza here in Austin. They make some good stuff, and they get a lot of good orders too. So not sure I'll be able to bring the camera in there, but I'll try to see if I can sneak a little shot. Yes, like perfect example. I was talking with a relative of mine, and he basically just gave me that same playbook. You know, start a business, go to venture capitalism, and see what they offer you. You know, he told me that he originally got started, you know, making like animations for like advertising companies. And he went to the bank and they were like, yo, can I get a $10,000 loan so I can, you know, buy some equipment for, these animations I want to do. I need like some computers or whatnot to render these videos. And they're like, okay, you know, $10,000, here you go. Very next day, venture capitalist dumps like close to $1 million on his head. And that was that. And he just was like, okay, well, on to the next one. And let me tell you, that was probably like 20 years ago. Yeah, probably like 20 or like, close to 20 years ago. That's a lot of money back then. Still a lot of money now. Still a lot of money now. Yeah, so, you know, the playbook is definitely there. And if you talk to any business owner, they'll tell you that the upside is there. The upside is just so much there, and it's so fucking easy. And the playbook has already been written in French, Spanish, and English. You know, it's just there, you know, and especially in the age of information, connectivity, and AI, you know, what was impossible for most people like 5 to 10 years ago is basically possible for pretty much everybody. Like, there is no real excuse to, you know, kind of adhere to the same norms that were in place, like, you know, 5-10 years ago. Like, back in the day, if you wanted to get into like business and management or run a financing company, you had to go to like some fucking, you know, Ivy League school, or, you know, like get a really good education and certifications to do that. Now you basically have access to a PhD level of information at your fingertips at any given second that will literally give you the roadmap to whatever plan that you want to do, you want in less than 3 minutes. You know, you want to be a software engineer. You don't need to fucking go to a college and get a degree in fucking computer science. You literally have a computer science major on your phone at all times. And you don't even have to know how to write code. All you have to do is know how to take a couple screenshots and then copy and paste. So, I mean, like, the upside is there, the opportunity is there, and all the resources are there and are widely in place for most people. But what are most people gonna do? They're gonna sit on the sidelines, idle, and complain that this is all happening? Okay, sure. You know, you literally have an alien on your phone that knows everything, speaks several different languages, and also knows finance and business management strategies, as well as access to the internet at any given point in real time. Okay. And you're just not going to use it. Sure. It's $20 a month. You'll pay $300,000 to get the same. You'll pay $300,000 with interest that can never be forgiven to get the same quality of information for the same opportunities. I mean, granted, you know, nobody's gonna fucking give you a job just because you know how to use ChatGPT, but if no one's gonna give you a job because you have a fucking bachelor's or a doctorate's degree anyway, you know, it's like, does it really fucking matter? What's the difference between me having a PhD in the phone and then on a phone AI versus me having a piece of paper that says I went to college for 8 years? You know, one is gonna put you in debt for the rest of your life. The other one you can download off of the App Store, and it's free. So, if you want my personal opinion, I think whatever you wanted to do or ever thought that you could do something is now more possible than it ever has been in your entire life. Literally, whatever you want to do is possible. If you want, I was talking to my friend yesterday. He was like, man, I'm a rapper. I want to get noticed by a major record label. And I think that if I can just get noticed by this one particular record label, that they would bring me on because I have the drive, the ambition, and the sound for exactly what they're looking for. And I was like, okay, you're not wrong. You have all of those things, man. I truly believe that if you were to get into contact with this record label, that you could easily get on there, that you could easily get someone behind you for them specifically. And he was like, nah, man, I already tried that. It didn't work out. It's too much competition. And I was like, okay, well, what did you try? So I DM'd them on Instagram. You what? You went to a multi-million dollar record label trying to get noticed with the intention of getting signed, and you sent them a DM on Instagram? So I had to tell him, I was like, man, like, you know, you have the intention, but the direction, you know? So I said, hey man, why don't we just ask ChatGPT what the fuck he thinks you should do to get noticed by this particular record label? He's like, no man, he doesn't know. He doesn't know X, Y, and Z. Bro, less than 2 minutes, there was a roadmap mapped out with the exact name of the person that he needed to talk to within their recruiting team, what they were looking for, how to deliver a presentation for your content and intentions, and basically said, hey, if you follow steps 1 through 10, the likelihood of you getting signed by these people goes up 100-fold. 2 minutes, free app, information that you would only otherwise be able to get literally if you pulled up to their headquarters and asked them, how the fuck do I get signed by you? You would literally have to like go to their place of business, not just one of their fucking like agencies, but literally their headquarters to get this level of information. Holy fuck, I don't think I'm supposed to be right here. You know what I really dislike? These fucking Apple Maps, because they will take you places that you should never go. Like, I don't believe I'm supposed to be over here, but fuck it, we ball, I guess. But hey, this is a beautiful area. I'm excited. I love this place. Let's see what we've got going. Yeah, so in any case, I am fiat farming away. Bitcoin almost made a new all-time high yesterday. That scared me shitless. It had me shitting bricks. I had to redraw the whole fucking game plan for this whole month, you know, because if we start getting into a bull season or a bull cycle, or whatever people want to call it, it makes what I do immensely harder. People are like, oh man, don't you want to see Bitcoin go up? No, keep that shit dirt cheap, please. Please do. Sell your Bitcoin. Sell it to me. I'll buy it off you. I'll buy it off you for a premium. But please keep that price nice and low, man. We don't want a $150,000 Bitcoin. We don't want a $200,000 Bitcoin. We don't want any of that. Keep it nice and cheap, right around 109, 111, 113. Those are beautiful, beautiful numbers right there. I love it. I love it. So when I woke up and I just saw that shit pumping, you know, I had to dump everything into it. Yes, I'm a FOMO buyer. Yes, fear of missing out, 1000%. Fear of me having to work twice as hard to get the same amount, you know? Because if you're Fiat farming, okay. I found fine shit. Let's go get her this pizza real quick. All right, just dropped off pizza for fine shit, and let me tell you, she left a tip. Now, I can make a joke there, but I'm not going to, you know? Because I'm civilized, I'm classy, refined. Yeah, so anyway, I don't want to see an expensive Bitcoin, you know? At least not now, not while I'm still accumulating, you know? Like maybe, you know, once I can start taking on horrendous amounts of debt, you know, I want to see that shit balloon so I can borrow against it and just refinance my debt basically into eternity. But right now, while you're still in the baby steps, accumulation phase, you should be fucking terrified. You should be horrified at Bitcoin. It should scare the living shit out of you if you don't have your position already squared away. Because what are you going to do? You're looking at the price right now. You're like, oh my God, 123,000. It's so fucking expensive. I'll never be able to afford it. And you're like, fuck, you know? How long would it take for me to buy a whole Bitcoin at the rate that I make money at today? So say if I were to sell off everything I own, clean all of my expenses, and basically just sell the clothes on my back, and basically turn my net worth to zero and convert all of that money into Bitcoin. Yeah, I'd probably have to work like three years realistically if I had like no living expenses to get to one Bitcoin at where I'm at right now. Like even if I were to max out all the side gigs that I have, work as many hours as I can, do whatever the fuck it takes to make like $5,000 a month, you know, it might make like 50K a year. Nah, not 50K, maybe like about like 60K, probably like 60K. Take me about 2 years with me paying taxes. It'll probably come out to about three years. So a $200,000 Bitcoin basically means I have to work 6 years to get to one Bitcoin. A $300,000 Bitcoins mean I'd have to work 9 years to get to one Bitcoin. You see, like you see the problem here, right? If the amount that I can buy keeps decreasing at an insanely fast rate, then in order for me to hit my goals of accumulation, it means I have to work fucking twice as hard, 3 times as hard. Like that's insane work. Like I worked a 70-hour work week last week just to buy a bit of Bitcoin. If I want to get that same amount at a $200,000 Bitcoin, I have to work 140 hours in 1 week. No! What the fuck? That sounds terrible. That literally sounds fucking terrible. So yeah, I don't want Bitcoin to run up. Not now. Not now. Now if I come into like fucking, you know, like $3 million and I'm able to get 30 of them shits, then sure, send it to the fucking moon. And I can leverage until the cows come home, you know? But, you know, if you're a small account, you know, if you're small boy, you know, you're stacking sats, man, you should feel the fire of hell underneath your ass right now, because you are slowly getting priced out of what is really your exit ticket from all of your issues. You are slowly getting priced out of the one thing that might be your asymmetric opportunity to really change your life. And the thing is, this shit does not happen. It does not happen slowly. It's already at 100,000. Even a 30% increase is like fucking, like 30% increase on a $120,000 Bitcoin is like an extra $40,000, bro. Like, that's a year's worth of someone's work that just happens to change in the course of a few months. That is insanely difficult to keep up with if you're not already Mr. Doug's Dimmadome, you know? Mr. Doug's Dimmadome, you know? So you do not want to you can get priced out of an apartment. You can get priced out of owning a car. Hell, you can get priced out of fucking a soft drink. But the last thing that you want to get priced out of is Bitcoin. So what I ended up doing was I actually liquidated my entire portfolio and just put that straight towards my bills. And normally what I'll do is I'll like flip options, you know, trade the SPY, trade fucking Nvidia, trade some obscenely volatile momentum stock, and, you know, just try to ride that money with, you know, whatever cash I can kind of scrounge up in the short term. But now it's like I don't even want to trade, you know? I don't even want to fucking trade options, because I know that the risk that I'm taking is basically saying, hey, I'm going to outperform Bitcoin. Me, as a novice fucking retail trader, I'm going to outperform the best asset to ever exist in human history. No, that's not a chance I want to take, and that's a losing battle, you know. So instead of me building back up my cash liquidity so I can go into October and go flip these SPY contracts, man, I'm just aggressively buying the fuck out of Bitcoin, you know. And it sucks, you know, because, you know, SPY is probably gonna hit 675 this week, and it's gonna go up like another 2% in a day, and the options are gonna go from like fucking $17 to $270. But that's totally okay. That's totally okay. I'm fine with missing out on all of that as long as I can accumulate Bitcoin while it's still 120,000. SPY is always gonna be there. There's always gonna be fucking new money coming into the stock market and over leveraged positions getting liquidated, and all of the volatility that I know, like, and love. That's never going to go anywhere. I'm okay with, you know, missing out on a couple of days. But if I have to pay $150,000 for Bitcoin, I'm going to be fucking sick, bro. I'm going to be sick to my fucking stomach. Because I know that I'm going to have to work fucking 14 hours to get the same amount that I was getting for like 8 hours worth of work, which means I'm going to make even more sacrifices. I'm going to have to eat even less, and oh my god, everything that comes with it, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it at some point, you know. But it's like, fuck, bro, I'd rather have it easier than harder. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fucking have to go into debt to buy Bitcoin. I don't want to have to go into debt to buy 1 million sats 3 years from now, when I can just buy 1 million sats for like $1,000 this week, you know? Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather not. I'd really rather not. I'd rather just put my money into Bitcoin now and then do all the crazy, volatile, risky shit later, you know? Because it's like, you're really taking a risk, you know, trying to, you know, flip meme coins or flip stocks and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this profit and dump it all into Bitcoin after my money 10x's in a day. It's like, bro, you know, you really think that everything's just gonna work out for you, and then you can just take the house money and then just throw it into Bitcoin? I mean, if you can, do it, but shit, you know, even if you take a 17% loss on your trade, you know, that could have been sats, you know, and you weren't going to take a 17% loss on those sats, you know. Worst case, Bitcoin goes to $1 million and stays at $1 million. That's still your 10x right there. You don't need to fucking trade SPY into infinity and beyond to get a 10x. You need to buy fucking $10 worth of Bitcoin, and at some point it's going to be worth 100. Bear case, you know. It's like, fuck, what am I gonna do when I have to spend $1 million per Bitcoin? Like, how the fuck? Someone please tell me, how am I gonna get one Bitcoin? Who do I have to fuck to get one Bitcoin? It's like, what? Like, you see what I'm saying, right? Like, if your goal is to accumulate Bitcoin, and then in some magical fantasy world where you're fucking 15 years late to the party, how are you gonna do it? Like, even the richest people in the world are gonna have an insanely hard time accumulating sats if they do not get in early as fuck. Like, if you were like, oh, well, I don't really care about Bitcoin. Okay. Sure, man. Sure. That's because you've gotten comfortable. Everything's all peaches and cream until your fucking currency goes down 20% in a year, and then suddenly the gas that you were used to getting at fucking $4 a gallon is now $5, and now the car that you were hoping to buy at one point went from $30,000 to $45,000 in a year. You know? That's called currency debasement. The shit that you're saving for right now is gonna magically do leaps and bounds in such a short span of time that you're gonna look back and be like, fuck, I should have just financed this shit. I should have just financed this shit and gone into debt, because now the principal amount for what I want to buy is more expensive than any interest I would have originally paid for it. Because instead of getting 20% interest over a year or a few years, I'm paying 20% on the total cost of the vehicle just for the principal amount, and then I have to pay taxes on top. Like, fuck, bro. Y'all better start doing some shit to get some fucking money out here so you can buy Bitcoin, because you're competing with me, and I'm telling you, I'm working 70 hours a week just to buy Bitcoin, and it's very small amounts too. I don't even know how much money I make, to be honest. I make a decent amount of money, and I don't even know how much I make because I just put it all into Bitcoin. I can't even tell you how much money I make because I never see it. I never see it. The moment a dollar touches my account, I buy Bitcoin. So if that's not a wake-up call for you, then let me rephrase it. You're competing with me and everybody else in the fucking world for a small piece of freedom. And if you don't get ahead of me right now, I'm gonna make it extremely difficult for you to catch up. Not because I'm an asshole, but because I'm going to aggressively accumulate as much as possible. And then as soon as I'm in a position to accumulate more, I'm gonna over leverage myself and start accumulating at light speed. Like, you think I'm putting in 70 hours worth of work right now? Just wait till my business is up and running. Just wait until the other forms of cash flow I'm working on right now start hitting. Because pretty soon I'm not going to be just buying $100 worth a week. I'm going to start buying $1,000 worth a week. And then I'm going to start buying $2,000 worth a week. And then I'm going to start buying $5,000 worth a week. And at some point, I'm just going to be taking on debt to buy more, and then refinancing my debt at insane margins to buy even more. So if you don't think that it's time to start stacking, you better, because I'm not going to sell any of it to you. I don't know who the fuck's going to be selling you Bitcoin at fucking 300, 400,000, but I feel bad for them because they're fucking idiots. What? You're going to sell Bitcoin for what? I'd sell it for some pussy. Like, that's about it. That's probably the only thing I would sell Bitcoin for. If you're selling Bitcoin for cash, you know, you might as well just be shooting yourself in the foot. Now, I get it. If you've been holding for fucking 10, 15 years and Bitcoin goes to $250,000 and you want to buy a house, you want to buy a yacht, you want to do X, Y, and Z, you know, do things. It's to increase your, if it's to increase your quality of life, man, or you want to start a business, or, you know, start a family, or really do something important for somebody that you love, you know, that's beautiful. That's what freedom's all about. But man, if you're just getting started, you should be terrified. You should genuinely be terrified, because if you thought that home ownership was impossible here in America, get ready for a $500,000 Bitcoin within the next 3 or 5 years. You're gonna need a PhD's level of you're gonna need a PhD in basically everything just to get to 0.1 Bitcoin. And then even then, it's like, fuck, bro. What are you gonna do with dollars? Like, who the fuck is gonna want dollars at that point, you know? Like, you're just gonna watch basically everything. You're gonna watch a dog outperform your dollars, and then you're gonna want more dollars. Like, at that point, you might as well just go buy Dogecoin, bro. Like, like if you're just gonna hold fucking USD, you might as well just buy Dogecoin. honest opinion. You will see more upside in a fucking dog than you will in the trust that backs our economy. Because that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? When you stop and think about it, there are people who have been investing into the U.S. legacy financial system for the last 10 to 15 years, and they get outperformed by a dog in a single day. How do you explain that to somebody? How do you be like, yo, man, you know, I'm your personal finance advisor. I've diversified your portfolio to basically every single sector that exists. You have a strong dividend backing as well to guarantee you cash flow through the bear markets. And then like the next day you see a dog outperform everything. You're just like, huh? Like, what goes through your mind when you see that happen? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, 'cause I know what happened when I saw it happen. I watched a dog outperform my entire existence in less than 24 hours. And I was trying to explain this to my friend. I was like, a dog went up 100% in a night. Like, someone's life could have been changed for a dog. Like, if you had saved all of the money that you had in your entire life, and you bought Dogecoin back in like November, October of last year, you literally could have become a millionaire. And honestly, if you still held and you like never sold, you'd still be up. You would still be up. Versus the S&P 500. People are gonna start doing the comparison where it's like fucking gold versus the S&P 500, but it's gonna be a fucking dog versus the S&P 500. And you'd be like, yo, people are gonna start speculating on animals. They're gonna be like, fuck, what's next? Fish coin. Like, that just goes to show you how fucked the US dollar is. Like, you know, like, people, it's literally a game at this point. Like, it's literally a fucking meme at this point, how fucked our currency is, you know? And we're not doing anything to make it better. Like, as a country, as a whole, we're seeing like, hey, got some serious issues going on with our economy. Lots of people are losing trust. People are dumping our bonds, you know. Countries are less likely to trade with us because of our certain actions that we've taken over the last year or so. You know, a lot of the people that depended on us for global security and act as sort of a global police force. So, you know, autocrats didn't get emboldened to take advantage of the chaos in the world and start, you know, expanding their empires and trying to remove the sovereignty of different states. And then we're just like, yeah, fuck you guys. We're just gonna make everything worse. Like, bro, it's like, I know my leg's broken right now. I'm gonna go run a marathon. Fuck it, I'm gonna do a triathlon after that too. It's like, bro, it's like, if you know you're in a fucked up position, why are you making it worse? Why are we making it worse? Why are we letting a dog outperform the currency that we've been using forever? Like, the dollar's not coming back. It's never coming back. Nothing is ever going to get cheaper in terms of US dollars, ever. The prices that you're seeing today are the cheapest that they're ever going to be for anything. Let me say that again. You're complaining about the cost of living today. This is the cheapest it's ever going to be. This is the cheapest it's ever going to be. It's never coming back. And people are like, oh, you know, that's not true. We just have to fix the fucking job market and the trade structure, and the sun and the moon have to realign, and then everything will start. No, because everything's priced in dollars. It doesn't matter what you do to the fucking system if the currency is losing value. Bro, we could have fucking space shuttles that warp you from place to place and remove the need for energy entirely, but if your currency is worthless, everything's gonna go up. And don't forget, you get taxed on it too. So before you even get to deal with the insane inflation, you have to pay taxes on it. 35-40% of all the money that you get goes to the US government, and they can print money. Why the fuck are you paying taxes? They can print money. If they want money, they can just print it. And they're like, oh, well, that's gonna cause inflation. So now it's a problem. Oh, okay. Well, fuck, man. I'd really hate for inflation to be a problem if the Fed just starts printing money because we can't pay taxes. Like, fuck, man. You guys print fucking trillions of dollars within 1 year, but if Americans don't pitch in $16,000 cumulatively per person, then the system just goes to shit. Gee, man, fuck, bro. I hate to be the guy that doesn't give the U.S. government $16,000 and then just cause inflation. Like, fuck, bro. I don't want to be the asshole that ruins. I'm sorry, guys. Like, if I don't pay taxes and the government has to print money because of me, I'm the reason why you can't afford a house. I'm sorry. Has nothing to do with anything else. Nothing to do with the dollar. Nothing to do with institutions. None of that shit. None of that shit at all. It's me, bro. I'm sorry. Drop in the comments what I made more expensive for you because I bought Bitcoin and I'm not being taxed on realized gains. Fuck, man. I'm sorry. Maybe one day you'll forgive me. I'll send you some sats in 10 years and I'll send you 10 sats in 10 years and you can buy a hot dog and everything will be fine. But in any case, I'm kind of getting a little bit off topic while looking for an order, Like, these orders over here are just kind of few and far between. But yeah, I think that's all I really had. I think great video. I might do a couple more vlogs later on, but just to kind of recapture everything and get back to the point. Now is the time where if you want to do something, your odds of success are higher than they've ever been in your entire life. If you want to be an artist, be an artist. If you want to be a business owner, be a business owner. If you want to be a creative, be a creative. If you just want to say fuck it and stop working and buy Bitcoin, then do that, Like, I was talking to my friend earlier today, and he was like, oh, my parents are going into debt, and, they don't want to work anymore. They're getting tired. They're getting old. They just want to manage, the current, residual income, passive income flows they have and just live off of that versus, getting a job in this terrible job market. I don't blame them. I was like, just buy Bitcoin. They're like, no, I don't want to do that. It's a losing game. That's how I know I'm good. Like I really hate to be that person, but the competition isn't really all that high, It's like, there's a lot of smart people out here who have a lot of money, and I'm competing with them to buy Bitcoin. It's like, I'm doing pretty good, Like, if this is the best y'all got to offer, I hate to be that guy, but like, fuck, man, I'm glad the bar is so low. Like, I'm glad there are people in this world that have exorbitant more amounts of wealth than I do, in a ridiculous amount more money than I do, and they just refuse to buy Bitcoin or even look at it. It's like, a part of me is disappointed, but another part of me is like genuinely glad. Like, I'm like, fuck, bro, I don't have to compete with smart people for the best asset on the planet. Jeez, like, what is this? Is a fucking handicap game or something? Now, of course, Bitcoin is great and everything, but getting back to sovereignty just basically means don't listen to anybody, don't believe anything anybody says, don't do anything anybody says. Basically remove everybody from the equation and focus on what comes naturally from your source, And I see a lot of people like being dictated by relationships. If you are a woman in a relationship and you are subservient to your husband because that's the nuclear family or traditional family values, I'm here to tell you, Pelagos is here to flip that shit on its head. Fuck what your husband has to say. He's not your master. He's not your God. He's not the end all be all, You're a queen. You're a goddess. You don't have to listen to anything anybody says. If somebody says, hey, don't do something, fuck them. If somebody has ever told you to stop doing something, I'm here to tell you to start doing it and to not listen to me. Fuck what I have to say. I'm not you. I don't know what you have going on in life. I have no power over you. Just like nobody else has any power over you. Not your government, not an individual, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, but not your God either. Your God doesn't own you, you know? And that might be really hard for people to hear, and that's okay. If you disagree with me on that, I accept it. I accept your disagreement, and I respect it as well. In fact, I encourage your disagreement. If it is your sovereign decision to reject everything that I have to say, then I commend you on that. Please continue to deject and protest everything about me. If hearing the fact that I say that your God doesn't own you or control you upsets you, then please be upset. Please continue to be upset and disagree with me. But I will tell you again that you are sovereign and you control yourself, and you ultimately will determine your fate and your destiny. And the sooner that you realize it, the more power that you'll have in your own life, and the more you'll be able to exert that power and influence. Now, nobody said this shit was easy. Nobody ever said this shit was easy. But you can start small. On Monday, I'm gonna wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. and go to the gym. Not because I have to, not because anybody told me to, but that's what's going to happen. Why? Because it's my life and I determine what happens in it. And if I wake up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., and I decide not to go to the gym, I'm not going to go to the gym. But I know I am. I know I am going to go to the gym. And that's going to, and as of now, that's what's going to happen. Nothing is going to get between me and that gym session at 5 to 6 a.m. It's a sovereign decision, and I can claim that. I can own that shit. Sovereignty. Pelagos. Let's do this shit.